When you think of the heroes of Argentina's independence, who comes to mind?
Names like San Martin or Belgrano probably top the list. Their faces are literally carved in stone in city squares, and their names are repeated in every textbook. They are the accepted, official founders of a nation.
But what if I told you that the woman who was right there in the blood and the mud of the revolution doesn't look like any of them?
Imagine a soldier who lost everything for Argentina's freedom. A woman so revered that the soldiers on the front lines called her the Mother of the Homeland.
And what if I told you she was black, and that for nearly 200 years, her story was deliberately scrubbed from the very history she helped write?
Today on Halo of Time, we're telling the story of María Remedios del Valle. It's a story that challenges everything you thought you knew about the birth of a nation.
To understand her story, we have to rewind to the turn of the 19th century. Buenos Aires was a colonial city, a key piece of the Spanish Empire.
It was a society built on a rigid hierarchy. At the very bottom, hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans and their descendants. In fact, by the early 1800s, people of African descent made up as much as half the population in some provinces. They were the engine of the economy, yet completely invisible to history.
María Remedios del Valle was born into this world around 1766. Records identify her as a parda, a term for people of mixed African descent. Her early life is mostly a mystery, but we know her life changed in 1810.
That's when the cry for independence from Spain erupted. Maria, her husband, and her two sons made a choice that changed history. They joined the Army of the North.
This was the first military expedition sent to fight the Spanish royalists in what is now Bolivia. At first, Maria was a camp follower. She was supporting the troops, nursing the wounded, carrying supplies, and cooking meals.
But Maria wasn't destined for the sidelines. She was marching into the heart of a war she would never return from. She witnessed unimaginable carnage, and in that face of death, she found her calling.
Before the pivotal Battle of Tucumán in 1812, she went to the commander, General Manuel Belgrano, and asked to tend to soldiers on the front lines. Belgrano refused. He told her the front was no place for a woman.
But Maria wasn't a woman who followed convention. She defied his orders. As the battle raged, she moved through the chaos to help the fallen. Her bravery was so undeniable that Belgrano, the man who dismissed her, had to recognize her courage. He gave her the rank of captain.
And that was just the beginning. She fought in the victory at the Battle of Salta, then endured the brutal defeats at Vilcapugio and Ayohuma, but this is where she paid the ultimate price.
Her husband and both her sons were killed in combat. She was a widow and a childless mother, alone in the middle of a war. Many would have broken. Maria kept fighting. The soldiers saw her tireless work and her courage under fire. They gave her a new name, Madre de la Patria, the Mother of the Homeland.
Her legend was truly forged in 1813, in the aftermath of the Battle of Ayohuma. The Patriot Army was shattered. In the chaos, Maria was shot and captured by the Spanish.
Even as a prisoner, she refused to stop. From inside the Spanish prison camp, she helped several Patriot officers escape. When her defiance was discovered, the punishment was absolute brutality.
For 9 straight days she was publicly flogged. Those lashes were meant to break her spirit. The scars from that torture stayed on her back for the rest of her life.
But they couldn't break her. In an incredible act of resilience, Maria escaped her captors and found her way back to the Argentine army. She didn't go to safety, she went straight back to the battlefield, caring for the wounded until the war ended in 1818.
She survived the war. She bled for her country. But she returned to a nation that no longer had a place for her.
This is the part that is hardest to hear. How did a decorated Mother of the Homeland end up poor and forgotten on the streets?
It was a deliberate, systematic campaign to whiten Argentina's national identity. Leaders like future President Domingo Sarmiento launched a project of blanqueamiento, or whitening. They argued Argentina's future depended on eliminating its black and indigenous roots to become as European as possible.
It wasn't just about segregation. It was about erasure. The government promoted European immigration, hoping intermarriage would dilute the black population. One writer at the time said, "The race is losing in the mixture its primitive color. An African tree is producing white flowers."
Statistics from that era are chilling. War had already done part of the work. black men were sent to the front lines in disproportionate numbers as cannon fodder. Then, yellow fever epidemics swept through black neighborhoods, killing thousands.
By the late 19th century, census takers often simply stopped registering people of African descent. Officially, black Argentinians were ceasing to exist.
In this new white Argentina, a hero like María Remedios del Valle was an inconvenient truth. She was a symbol of a past they wanted to bury.
When she applied for a military pension in 1826, the state turned its back. Her claim was denied. The mother of the homeland was left to beg on the steps of churches just to survive.
For years, she was just another beggar. Her story was hidden by tattered clothes and the scars on her back, but her legacy wasn't dead.
In 1827, General Juan José Villamonte was crossing a public square when he saw a familiar face among the poor. He recognized her. He knew the captain. He knew the mother of the homeland.
Villamonte was horrified. He petitioned the legislature on her behalf, bringing other high-ranking officers to testify. An examination of her body revealed 6 major scars from bullets and swords.
The government finally relented. They granted her a pension as a captain, later elevated to sergeant major. Out of gratitude to the governor, Juan Manuel de Rosas, she spent her last years using the name Remedios Rosas.
She died on November 8, 1847, but the project of erasure was powerful. After her death, she was forgotten again for over a century. Historians left her out. Textbooks were filled with white generals while the black mother of the homeland vanished.
It wasn't until the 21st century that activists and historians began to resurrect her story and challenge the myth of a purely white Argentina.
Today, her portrait finally appears on an Argentine peso banknote alongside General Belgrano.
Her story is a rebuttal to the saying, "Aquí no hay negros," there are no black people here. Remembering María Remedios del Valle is an act of resistance.
Her life proves that the true mother of a country isn't defined by statues but by sacrifice, and no one sacrificed more than the woman they tried to erase.
The story of María Remedios del Valle was almost lost. How many other hidden histories are still out there? If you know of a forgotten hero, share it in the comments. This has been Halo of Time. If you enjoyed this journey, hit the like button and share it with someone who loves history as much as we do. Until next time, stay curious.